Hi, I'm on my way to Cult Hifi Bar in Prague to meet DJ Tris Kayo. He's been a DJ for years and has become an important part of the Prague vinyl DJ scene, organizing events and even running his own record shop here. He's also a member of the Gilles Peterson's worldwide festival family, and he hosted his own show on Radio Monaco, where he's met a lot of music legends. So I'm sure he has some great stories to share. So let's get to it. So thanks for inviting me here. So you're a DJ, obviously, but what's worth mentioning as well, you also had your record store in Prague. So where did the idea to open your own record store came?
Well, yes, I'm a DJ, and I did have a record store called Relish here in Prague, and I opened that because I had a job that had just finished, and I was trying to think what I was going to do, and actually my wife said that it'd be a good idea and a good time to open a record store. So having several thousands records, and it was always kind of a dream of mine to have that. I had a partner in the beginning. We went to Venitra Block and we pitched our idea. They were super keen and excited, and so that's where I opened it. And then over the years, I managed to sort of move around a fair bit. I started in the main room in Venitra Block, and then moved out to the back subsequently. And then COVID happened.
Okay. Yeah, not a good time for record stores, right?
No, but also I had a daughter as well, and she was just born. And having a record store is a lot of fun, but if you're not selling on every possible level that you can, it's hard to make money, some real money out of it. So I was getting by, but it just wasn't realistic unless I was doing online sales and lots of other markets and just selling in large numbers, because it's tough. Margins are not so big.
So was like you wouldn't do it again.
Now that I'm a father, no, I wouldn't.
Okay. And how did you get into DJing and collecting records in the first place?
So I started DJing when I was about 16, 17 years old. I'm from London originally. And I mean, this is going way back into the 90s, into the early 90s, which is when I was that age. And at that point, if you wanted to DJ, the only way you could do it was with vinyl. I mean, there was no CDJs. There certainly weren't any controllers, and all of this technology came a lot later. So really you had to be a collector of vinyl. And at that time in London, there was lots of vinyl shops, a lot more than there was today. And yeah, it was a very big part of the scene, the whole underground music scene, in terms of all the dance music in the clubs, heavily ran on white labels. So you would have to go to the right kind of record stores to get these white labels to be able to play them. And then it just grew from there, really. I mean, I was playing mostly hip hop 12 inches I was after, that had instrumental records on it, instrumental versions, because I was surrounded by a load of friends of mine who were really great rappers and MCs, and we were teenagers, so we used to hang out, and I used to spin instrumental records, and that's how I learned how to beat match.
So that yeah, I bought once a single from Jerry the Damager.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one, but it was a double. So you used to juggle and stuff?
Absolutely, yeah, totally. I mean, I was really into hip hop, the whole thing, DJing, MCing, skateboarding, graffiti, all these kind of things. This was a big part of a certain moment in my life. And so, yeah, when I was learning to beat match, I knew that one of the easiest ways was to make sure that I bought doubles of every 12 that I had, so that I could practice mixing back and forth between them, and then juggling the beats and scratching, and so that this wouldn't necessarily interfere with my friends who were like freestyling over the top. So it was purely the instrumentals that I was after at that time.
Okay. I'm not sure how big period of time I'm skipping right now, but you also had your own show on Radio Monaco, right?
I did, yeah.
And how did that happen?
So essentially, yeah, I suppose from what I was just saying, it's probably a 10-year, well, maybe less. I think in 2003-04, I moved to the south of France, and I got an offer to do a radio show on Radio Monaco at the time. It was very fresh, and I'd done a lot of various community pirate-based radio stations, in London, a lot of different styles of DJing with various people, and this was something I was really into. So to be offered a radio show on a very prominent radio station as Radio Monaco, which was nationally broadcasted on FM throughout France and Italy as well, this was a huge honor and a great adventure for me, because this lasted 10 years or so. So that's when I moved from London to the south of France, and I pursued that career in radio, and I had 10 great years doing interviews with all kinds of different people. I was the special envoy on events, concerts and festivals for Radio Monaco, so I would go to all the ones I wanted to go to, which was also great. And they never gave me any sort of artistic direction. They just told me, you're free to do whatever you want. So I would go to all the concerts and the festivals that I wanted to go to, and go backstage, meet the artists, talk to them, and then I would cut this into a 2-hour mix that I would do of music that would be very eclectic, that would go from anything from jazz to electronic music and pretty much everything in between.
And you're like, interesting memories that stand out to you, like
definitely loads. I mean, from meeting Bonobo to being there while Africa Bambaataa was doing a set, to meeting George Clinton from Parliament, Lee Scratch Perry, Derek May in the techno scene from Detroit, a whole load of Brazilian drum and bass DJs at the time, and Norman J, Gilles Peterson as well, who was always a massive hero of mine. I always followed Gilles from a very, very tender age, because I just love the eclecticism that he provides. So I'm very much from that school of DJing, because he influenced me a lot.
Cool. And you also played a couple of times on Gilles Peterson's worldwide festival. Sorry.
I did, yeah. That was definitely an honor, and one of those things that I never thought, I never thought I would get there. I never thought it would happen, but just one day out of the blue, because I just kept doing what I was doing. I guess Gilles and his team, they just noticed what I was doing, and it was very much within the mold of what they were doing as well, being so eclectic and trying to represent many forms of music, new music, old music, but just being eclectic, So then I got asked to DJ at his festival, which was a great honor, and I did really well. I got asked back, did it twice. So this is a big DJ goal of mine ticked, which I never thought it would happen, but it did. So yeah, I'm grateful for it.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but last time you told me that it was a little bit of funny story. How did it happen that you played there for the first time?
Oh yeah, right. So the guys, the organizers said, yeah, it's going to be, you're going to do the closing set on the first day. It's going to be in the tropical gardens of the Museum Paul Valery, which was a new venue that they were using at the time. So they said it's going to be probably quite chill. It's going to be, it's the first day of the festival. It's not going to be crazy, so you can work out, just plan for something chill. So obviously I just went deep into it and sort of just came up with this awesome chill out set, assuming that everyone would be lying around on the grass, having chilled beers and just kind of chilling. And then when I got there, a little earlier, thank God, and the guys DJing before me, Slider Wise was there and Garfield was there. I think Sinbad was there too. And it was just going off. I mean, I got in there and there was probably I don't know how many people, 1,000, 2,000 people, just fists in the air. And I sort of said, yeah, this is not going to work. My chill out set's going to just, so I had to completely freestyle it. And I looked around, was looking to see if Gilles was there. Couldn't see him anywhere. Got set up. just as I was about to start playing, he jumped out of nowhere, grabbed a microphone, and like essentially asked me a few questions in front of the crowd, and said, we have a new member, worldwide family DJ member. Here is Tris, and what are you going to play for us? And have you got anything planned? And I said, well, yeah, I do, but it's not really going to work. So I'm going to have to just freestyle it. And he said, that's how we love it, you know. And yeah, so I played a 2-hour set, and it was really well received. It was a beautiful thing, actually. It was really nice. I think not planning it made it even better, because and also the crowd there is you know, it's a difficult to beat this crowd at any of Giles's sort of festivals or events, because people are so into their music that you can just go in any direction, and people will appreciate it.
Cool. And you've been playing digitally or vinyl?
I have played digitally, yeah. So I'm not like a vinyl purist, but I love vinyl. After the record shop, obviously this brought me well back into vinyl, because at the time before that I was probably using Serato quite a bit with the vinyl controllers. And, you know, occasionally from time to time, depending on what the gig is, I've used CDJs, I've used USB sticks, you know.
Yeah. Most of the DJs plays digitally for obvious reasons, and you're kind of pushing vinyl. So why is vinyl superior to you?
There are many reasons, really. I suppose, I mean, to quote someone that I heard recently, nobody ever says, check out my new MP3 file. Then, you know, but a piece of vinyl, a record, is a substantial piece of art that you own, and if you take care of it, will outlast you and your grandchildren, likely. You know, it has the artwork, it has information, it has liner notes, it has, you know, physical form to it. I mean, let's not even go into, you know, the debate that vinyl sounds better than MP3s. It absolutely does. There's no question. It just sounds better. It feels better. I love to have a collection of records on a wall in my house. MP3s, or I never touch MP3s, but like lossless files, WAVs or AIFs or whatever you know, anything else, they're just invisible. They're in your computer. That's it. They're in your USB stick. There's nothing tangible. You don't, you know, necessarily feel the same way you do as when you buy a record, an album. So it's definitely my preferred form is vinyl. Absolutely.
Yeah. And you kind of contribute to Prague's vinyl scene as well. You know, you're doing that lifted events. So where did the idea for this party events, you know, series came from?
So Lifted essentially came from James Basley and myself, having worked together on various other projects. We decided that we really wanted to do a loft style party, influenced very much by David Mancuso's loft parties.
I'm sorry, loft style, because I'm not really aware what's that mean.
So how to explain it? So essentially it comes back to David Mancuso, who had this party in his loft, and that's really where the whole thing comes from, the loft thing. Loft is a space, and it just so happened that we managed to find this wonderful space called Loft Bubny, who Pavel was running it and loved the idea. So we were lucky enough to do regular parties there. And it's just different kind of vibe. It's eclectic in terms of music. I know we've been people call us a disco party because we play a lot of disco, but we do play a lot of other styles of music as well, and it's very geared towards trying to, you know, a very high-end sound system. All the DJs use vinyl, except Jeffology, who, you know, sometimes does but sometimes doesn't, but that's, you know, that's fine. And just the whole concept of this sort of community sort of party, of making everyone that comes to this party feeling welcome. We don't, you know, it's not a commercial event, so we're not trying to make money. We don't charge for the cloakroom. We're all taking turns to work it, you know, whatever we need to the front door of the cloakroom. We have a refreshment buffet at every party full of fruits and cakes and sweets, and and stuff to keep people going who are not drinking, because a lot of the dance community just, they don't drink, and then, not into party substances like, some other people are. But we offer this huge buffet, and we just try to be honest and do it for the love. None of us get paid for it, and we're all in it just for the glory of doing it. And so we've been doing it for 3 years now. So yeah, it's still running. It's still great. It's still really vibey. It's still a beautiful atmosphere inside, and yeah, long may it continue.
Okay. And another interesting concept is here in Cult Hifi Bar. So can you introduce it a little bit,
Yeah, so here we're sitting between a couple of Klipsch La Scala speakers, which are, quite legendary. We have an incredible setup, a hi-fi setup here with a Isonoe, a rotary mixer, excellent Klipsch La Scala, Klipsch Heresies at the back. And this is really Prague's first Japanese-style listening bar, based upon the listening bars that started in Japan in probably the 50s or 60s, where people would want to go and hear the latest import from the US or wherever, and they wanted to hear it on the best possible sound system they could, and they would go into these little cocktail bars or little, not necessarily cocktail bars, but bars, and just sit there and have a drink and listen to the entire album. And Japanese people, being the way they are, they were just very respectful. They would sit in silence generally and just really listen to the record, because that's what they wanted to do. So, this is something that's been growing over quite a long period of time throughout Europe and the US, especially. There are more listening bars popping up all over the place, and some places are stricter with the rules than others. Essentially, here in Cult Hi-Fi, we try to make the DJs as comfortable as possible and give them ultimate freedom for them to play anything they want. It's not necessarily about the technical skill of the DJ. It's more about the adventure and the selection of music that would hopefully complement the atmosphere within this room. We are absolutely not vinyl purists and fascists, but we have a line which I drew when I started booking this place, where we are absolutely only booking people who play vinyl records. Previous to this, there were DJs coming, and there were ex-DJs here. DJs coming and playing MP3s on this sound system just does not do it justice whatsoever. And also, different styles of DJing is something that we really try to promote. So we don't really want, a tech house DJ to come in here and play 4 hours of tech house. It's also just not complementing the style. The more adventurous you can be, the more eclectic you can be, that's what fits this place more than anything. It's a great cocktail bar, small venue, so doesn't take much to fill it up. You can reserve your table and come and sit down. We don't accept groups more than 7. 7 is the maximum. And we just, really enjoy it. People really come here now because they know that the DJs are going to be great. The selection it's always going to be surprising, but it's always going to be great. And the hi-fi, the records sound unbelievable on this system. So yeah, this is a great honor as well. I fell into this place, came here and played probably 2 or 3 times before I sat down with the owners here, and they just kind of said to me, "You get it, you understand what we're trying to achieve here." And they were struggling with not knowing a large amount of vinyl DJs in Prague, which they weren't necessarily sure existed or not. But having had the record store, I obviously knew that there was a very big culture of DJs playing records, and excellent DJs too. So I said to them, well, there is absolutely lots of vinyl DJs who would love to come and play here. So that's when they asked me if I could start helping them with the bookings. And essentially, I've now taken it over. So I'm in charge with the sort of musical branding of this place, and trying to make sure that the DJs that play here are complementing the philosophy and the concept that they have here.
Cool. You've kind of already described, but to people who've never been to any, like Japanese listening bar or something like that, could you what they can expect? Because it was also my first experience last time. So,
well, it's like I mentioned, some places have got stricter rules than others. We are in the process of writing up our house rules, which will be available quite soon. And these house rules will, contain information such as, there's a limit to the size of the table that you can book here. 7 is the maximum, but really you have to come here and you have to be respectful, but not only respectful of the DJ who's playing and the music and the hi-fi system, but respectful about other people who come here. Quite often you'll just get one person there and they'll just come and sit here and listen and appreciate where the DJ is going. So to have a big group of more than 7 being very loud and obnoxious and drinking lots of drinks and being, having a great time. This is not a party bar. Yeah. There are millions of party bars you can go to. There's other dance bars you can go to. This is not one of those. This is absolutely premium hi-fi listening bar and the only one in Prague.
And how does it work so far? I mean, you're DJing here, yourself as well.
Yeah.
So
I'm the resident. So they offered me the residency before I started booking the DJs. And so, yeah, I've been playing here a lot, but essentially what I'm trying to do is, because we're only open Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and we only have DJs on Fridays and Saturdays. Fridays work pretty well. Saturdays is what I'm trying to bring up, which is working. It seems to be working now. Then we'll be focusing on Thursdays, and then who knows, maybe Sundays, maybe Wednesdays. I would like to have this place open every night of the week. That's the goal, and to have a rotation of local DJs who really understand the whole philosophy of this place.
So, myself, I like to listen to, I would say, like weird stuff, whatever, at rare grooves and stuff like that. So can you mention some records you've kind of, thought to yourself, like, I could never ever play this record somewhere else?
Oh yeah, loads of stuff. That's one of the unique things here too. And thanks for pointing that out. Is that here, I did mention that DJs are free to go to play whatever they want, and I really mean that. There's not really any other bar in Prague where you're going to be booked as a DJ where you can play a 20-minute ambient song, like a Brian Eno experimental track. I mean, they just won't accept it. But here, it's totally fine. You want to play a 20-minute jazz song, yeah, you could do that here too. You want to follow that up with a heavy bass UK experimental artist like Drum, then you can do that here too. I mean, that's the whole point, is to be as eclectic as possible and try and take everyone on a journey and throw them the curveball. I don't want people to come here and really know what to expect. I want them to expect one thing, and that is quality of DJs. But in terms of what music they're going to hear and where it's going to go, I want that to be a surprise. And it should be, I think.
Okay.
That's weird that we have the luxury of being able to do that, being DJs and being eclectic DJs too. So we can really take people on adventures through different styles of music, different tempos, different atmospheres. And that is the whole point, I think, of here. This is what I'm trying to get across.
Cool. Okay. Thanks a lot, mate. I'm really looking forward to, visiting next time. Next time I'm actually DJing here myself. So
you will be looking forward to that.
Little promo to me as well.
Yeah, and thanks for your time here and Diggin time, and everything is wicked. And yeah, let's grow. Let's help. We'll do whatever we can to help grow your channel. And yeah, for anyone interested, Cult Hifi on Instagram. You can follow that for all the kind of information. There's a website, culthifi.com, which has all the information on there as well, in terms of everything equipment wise, what we have. House rules will be printed up there as well. This place is not only a Japanese listening style bar, but it also is an absolutely excellent cocktail bar. We got some of the guys here are just really great mixologists, and they really provide a high level of cocktails. So yeah, it's lovely and it's unique. It's unique in Prague for now. So yeah, that will just keep going.
Cool. All right. Thanks a lot, mate.
You're welcome, bro. Thank you.